Hey everyone, it's Colaiacovo with Pepper Marketing, and thank you so much for downloading my free marketing stats tracking template. I want to get you started off on the right foot, and I want to do more than just give you the template and send you off on your merry way. So I'm going to walk you through the different tabs in this template. Yes, it is an Excel file. You can also choose your version to download it in a Google spreadsheet format too. So whichever way you like to use your documents, you can use the Excel version or you can use the Google spreadsheet version. But the important thing is that you're going to download it and start using it for your business. So I'm going to do a little walkthrough and show you what the different tabs are in the spreadsheet and show you how to use it so that you can get the most out of this template, so that you can customize it for yourself, use it for the way that you're going to with your business, and hopefully start learning from it and learning what you can do and change and optimize in your marketing so that you're saving time, you're saving money, and you're getting more results. Because the goal is here to help you get more traffic, more leads, and more sales, which means more clients into your dietitian business or your private practice. So that's what my goal with this template is to help you do. So let's get started here. I'm going to share my screen and take you on a little tour of this template. So let's go here. All right, I'm just going to move me out of the way. So this is the template that we've got here. And there are, I think, about 10 or 11 different tabs in it. Now, some of them, I'm going to be honest, some of the tabs that are inside here, I don't show you through everything in this because it's too much information that I could show you in a quick video like this. And it is an actual module that I teach and train in my Thrive Marketing Academy for dietitians. So there's a couple of the tabs here where I show you a little bit of what's on the page, but not all the details because it requires a little bit more of a lesson to understand what to do with that. But I will tell you that the first one that we've got here is goals. So in the goals area, I like to make sure that you're keeping your goals and keeping track of them, writing them down, whether it's here or in a book or a planner, whatever you want to do, but having it somewhere so that you know what your goals are for the year and what you're going to be looking at every month to do with them. So that is one section in there. And I'll be honest, the first couple here are stuff that I do teach in the program. The next one that I teach is the consults. So this was something I started using about 3 years ago. I call it my pipeline tracker, this particular one. And again, I teach more on using this in the Thrive Marketing Academy. But essentially what I do is I keep track in here of sales calls that I have, what happens with them, the follow-up that goes on with them, what kind of sales happen with it. And there's actually a lot that you can learn from that as well, especially if you're tracking one certain element of those consults and where they're coming from. So that's another piece you should be tracking. If you have a course or an online program, I definitely think it's something you should be tracking as well. This is just a sample one that I've got here for you. If you have more than one course, you can put it in there. We typically track this. I have some clients that have teachable courses or courses in Kajabi. So we track each month what the sales are, what the fees were that they paid as well. So they have a net understanding of what they made in sales. And that's something to be looking at. One of the things that I always get as feedback in these programs when I'm teaching is, why do I need to track the numbers? Because I can go and look in my program. I can go look in my Teachable or Kajabi and know how many sales I had. Sure, you can. But here's my argument. And this comes from my time having read a book called The One-Page Project Manager. I like to see a one-page view of everything because I find I can get more details out of it. So in this case, when you're looking at certain things here, and this will come into play in the next tab when I show you that one, there's a lot of information you might see here that you might not be able to notice from other ways of looking at the information. So for instance, when you're looking in here, just a quick glance, I would be able to tell if I have year over year, how I did in January compared to January of last year. And so looking and having that comparative value that you can look at in a template like this, in a tracking document like this, is really helpful. So this is one where I can often look at, I have one client, we review her stats every month on this, and we'll look at, what she sold in this month last year compared to this year. And I can even go back. So by looking at that, we can think about what we did. One of the things that happens, well, there was a new course that launched. So we had a bigger promotion that was going on. Different things like that. So when we do that kind of stuff, it's just one of those things that when you're putting it into a document like this, you'll be able to get more out of the information than you would if you were just looking at it in the systems and in the tools that you have where you can get this information. The newsletter is one of them. So this is the next one. We keep track of our newsletter, what day of the week we send it, the date we sent it, the total numbers sent, the open rates, the click rates, and the bounce rates. Okay. You'll note we don't track unsubscribes here because we're always happy to have people unsubscribe because they're no longer interested typically. You can put it in if you want to. I find too often people start to really think about that much more than anything else. And that's not what I want folks to do. So in here, this is where we've often found trends like a phrase in a subject line and noticing the open rate is higher. So different things like that you can actually get from looking into a document like this. I would have a hard time seeing that and getting that information if I was looking in my ConvertKit email system or whatever email system you're using, because you're often not going to be able to notice that type of thing. You won't be able to see them all together in one place. So for the amount of time it takes to go into your email system every month, go in here, write in the subject line, write how, just look at, open on one screen, two screens, whatever you have, take the open rates from your system and type it in here, take it, copy, paste, however you do it. Putting that information in here puts it all in a place where when you look at it, it's going to often be able to be the thing that you'll see. Well, what are the higher open rates? So when we go down the list, one of my clients was an HR coach. And when we were looking at them, the highest open rates always had the word career in the subject line. So what did we start doing? We started doing more of that. When you see when they click a higher rate in another one, what is it that they're seeing and what can you get from that information? So this is how you want to use this type of tracking and look at it. So it's something just to take note of and make sure that you're looking at with that. Lead magnets is the next tab here. So typically we'll keep track of the different lead magnets someone might have. And we'll usually do this updated once a month. On here once every 2 months, depending on who the person is. And if it's students in my courses, I usually recommend once a month for that. What we typically look at in here is we'll put the different names in here. Of course, my sample is lead magnet 1 and 2. You can customize that and just track, how many people you have on the list each month and look at the change in growth. So if I were to look at this one and realize that more of the marketing and the focus that we've been doing was on lead magnet 1 versus lead magnet 2, but lead magnet 1 didn't have near the amount of growth, I would be wondering if what my marketing, if the message was hitting home, if something was wrong. This is one place that I've found tons of mistakes with folks often, that they've had broken pieces in their lead generation funnel because maybe the form was broken on the website or the email didn't get delivered. Often when we're looking at these numbers, we'll look back at it and go, well, I was promoting that all the time. I was talking about it and not that many people signed up. So we'll do a test sign up. And that's when we found the broken foundations in their funnel that they had and how we figured that out. I had one woman come to me and she'd been doing something wrong for 6 months. Her form was broken. It had worked right at the beginning, but then she changed something. It took some code out of the form off her website. And so anybody that was going there, and we could see the traffic from her web pages going there, but they weren't signing up and going through, and it was because something was broken there. So there's lots of things that these numbers can tell you for sure. And looking at them, you can see, if something's growing fast or not when it comes to lead magnets. But the best thing about doing this and using a template like this is it makes you stop and think about it once a month, because you have to look at the numbers, you have to type them, put them in. If you have an admin or a VA helping you, get them put it in for you and tell you to look at it, and you have to book the time to look at it or look at it together. But do something with them. Don't just collect them. Make sure you go in and look at them. Social media is the next one that we use, and we like to go in here and just look at the community we have and are things changing and growing and what's going on. So this is where we'll often just look at these just to make sure that we can see what's happening with the community and what's going on with them. And if the time we're spending on certain channels is worth it. Now, some people will also keep track of their reach. So looking at their posts and their insight from different posts, if you want to do that, you can definitely do that as well. It takes a little more dedication to do that kind of tracking. It's something that can certainly help you learn, are you getting more engagement on your Instagram versus Facebook or your Facebook group? All those different parts will help you for sure, but it's just a matter of whether or not you want to do that with your business. And if you do, then go in and, again, once a month, look at these numbers and track what's going on there. Google Analytics is the next one. So in this one here, what I recommend you do, and if you don't have Google Analytics set up, you do need to get that set up. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it can give you a lot of information about your website. Some folks that are in my Thrive Marketing Academy and my Inner Circle membership use Squarespace, so they may have different ways of getting stats. Your host can often give you stats as well. You'll find that when you sign into a WordPress website, you'll see numbers there. I still like to see it from the Google Analytics because I feel it's a little more accurate there. What we typically do in here is we just go in again once a month, go in and look at the numbers, set the reporting up, copy and paste the information, put it in here. And this is where you can look at different things and tell, are people spending more time on your website page? How many, more people came to visit your website versus the last time? Where's your traffic coming from? If you're getting referrals to your website, where are they coming from? So this is where you'll often see different places that are going to help you figure out that more people are reaching out to you. So for instance, in this case, this one is mine. I was getting traffic, wasn't a ton. Hold on a second here. But it's from a networking group I'm part of. And in my pipeline tracker for consults, I'd also noticed that I was getting referrals for people from this network. So I'm going to tell you right now, using that information, I did not stop going to that networking group because it was paying off. So these are some of the things that you'll be able to learn and discover from tracking some of these numbers. We also look at the top 10 pages that are viewed every month, because sometimes if you've got a new blog post that starts showing up there and traffic is coming into it, you'll want to make sure you're going and optimizing it and marketing it more and telling people about it more or learning from it. What is it about? If that's a topic people want to know about, you may want to start writing content and doing marketing around that a little bit more. So this is where we go in and track the analytics and look at those numbers. This is a thing called the Alexa tool. Now, this is it's a different tool. It's a Chrome extension that I use is how I get this. Alexa is just a ranking on website traffic. It's not by any means a perfect science or an exact science, but I find it's a good gauge because it's based on the traffic coming to your website that they're seeing. And in the free account version that you can get, you'll even be able to see some of the keywords that the search engines, in this case, Google, is noticing is sending traffic to your website for. So some of the things when I look at some of these ones, VIP of the day, Facebook group types, evolution of social media timeline, Google recognized that those were terms that brought people to my website. So you can bet that I was looking at the content that I had that was talking about these and figuring out what could I do more of? Can I change a call to action on these blog posts or pages, whatever's going on? So having this information is very helpful for you as well. And in my program, I show you how to use that Alexa tool that you can put into your browser extension. And then the podcast tracking, if you do have a podcast, that's another one that I have a little bit more lessons than I can cover here in what we're tracking. But let me just say that if you have a podcast, you should be looking at your numbers every month, looking at your downloads, looking at your reviews, looking at the change in traffic each month and the change in downloads from all of your podcast episodes. And you can use that information again to know and understand more what people liked, what they didn't like, what they want to know more about, and how you can change and put that into your marketing plans and your content planning. And then the last one that we have here is tracking links. So some people like to use some short URL tracking links tools like Bitly, or even track their own custom links that they use for certain things. So if you're someone that's going to be able to track some of those different links a little bit more and see how many hits you're getting on a specific link, then I would highly suggest that you do that as well. I've often in the past, for certain things, set myself up as my own affiliate. And this is getting a little complicated, but basically what I did there was I was able to track if I sent traffic to a sales page from Twitter, from Facebook posts, from LinkedIn, and I would be able to know what was getting more hits because of the way we set it up. There's lots of different ways to do this, but the important thing is I just want to open your mind to the fact that if you can do that, it's something that you should think about and consider doing. So that is everything I wanted to cover in the template, and just give you a quick idea of what's involved in it and what you can do. Make sure that you download whatever version you like, either the Google spreadsheet, you'll just have to make a copy of it and save it for your own, or the Excel file, download them. And again, just start blocking time once a month, filling out the information, looking at it, and seeing what you can gather from the information you're seeing and the data you're seeing to know what you can do and improve and change on as well. So make sure that you are getting in there and doing some of this review. Again, I would suggest once a month. If you go every quarter even, that's fine. But sometimes if there's errors going on, going too long cannot be as helpful. So that's why I like the once a month set timeline for doing this kind of tracking and looking and reviewing and analysis. So I hope this has helped you understand how to use this template a little bit more, and that it's given you some ideas on some of the things you can be tracking in your business and looking at. And I will tell you that by using this and following some of this information and the trends that we see in here, that's where we often learn to do more of what's working, less of what's not, optimize what we can. And then it all means in the long run, we're saving time with the marketing time that we're doing. We're putting out more of what's working, and we're just getting better results from what's happening because we've looked at the data and understood the messages that we can gather from it and make the changes that are going to help the business. So enjoy your template, make sure you customize it, get started using it, set yourself a schedule and a time. And if you have any other questions about this, feel free to DM me on Instagram. You can find me at Pepper@Marketing there, and just let me know. Or you can join my free Facebook group as well, the Dietitian Collective. It is a group all about helping you ace your marketing and build your thriving and profitable practice. So I share lots of tips and information in the group, and I go live in the group as well every week. And we have a special video time where I do a social 2 and 2 for somebody that submitted a question that they have with their marketing. And I give you 2 tips in 2 minutes to help you get moving forward. So you can find that group on Facebook at facebook.com/group/dietitian marketing collective. You can go to my website and there's a group link to it there on the homepage as well. Or DM me, ask me for the direct link, and I'll get you in there too. So this is Kathy Colaiacovo with pepper@marketing.com. I hope you have found this little tour of the template helpful, and more importantly, make sure you go and use this and start putting it into practice with your business. Have a great day, everybody.